of Americans consider themselves very liberal, and probably fewer of them consider themselves to be woke. And so, when we talk about traditional,
what does that mean to you? Would you mind defining woke? Because it's come up a couple times, and I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
So, woke is sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. Woke is something that's very hard to define, and we've spent an entire chapter defining it. It is sort of the understanding that we need to totally reimagine and redo society in order to create hierarchies of oppression. It's hard to explain in a 15-second soundbite.
Yeah, look, your time.
On Hill Rising, conservative commentator and author Bethany Mandel, who wrote an entire chapter on the word woke, could not define it. This has been a staple for many. In sports,
I realize I'm in the crosshairs of the woke mob right now, so before my final nail gets put in my cancel culture casket, I think I'd like to set the record straight on so many of the blatant lies.
Noted conspiracy theorist Aaron Rodgers misused it.
The elite media, the woke mob.
Sounding a lot like this guy, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley.
It's woke ideology. Woke executives.
Florida is where woke goes to die.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has used it to simply mean black people by rolling back the rights of citizens and even AP African American courses in school.
You know what woke means? It means you're a loser.
DeSantis rival Donald Trump used it incorrectly. It's because folks like Trump, DeSantis, and even Mandel know it is not about the origins of the word or even the true meaning. It is about signaling to a base that is too incompetent to define it. This clip will make the rounds. However, when promoting on more conservative networks, all Mandel will say is, I have an entire chapter on the problems with wokeness, and the MAGA crowd will eat it up. As my colleagues have previously stated, conservatives love being lied to. And even when we call out the hypocrisies.
And then there's no definition of what woke is, but on paper, what's actually being criticized in this hearing is that the so-called woke policies are remote work for federal workers, especially those that live in rural areas, and those who have disabilities, paying interns so that critical opportunities don't just go to privileged kids whose parents can afford to pay for their rent while they go on a free internship. That is what is woke here. That is what the other side is calling woke here. Making sure that OPM can create opportunities and federal careers for partners of military service members. That's woke. This is the woke alleged takeover that we have. That we want wildland firefighters who are putting their lives at risk, increasingly so year after year, that we want to make sure that they stay on the job and have dignified conditions and not leave because they can earn more money as a greeter at Walmart. This is what this whole term woke means. Or diversity and inclusion so that the people who work in our federal workforce are actually in proportion to the people that live in this country. This is this horrifying woke agenda that the other side is trying so hard to block.
Like New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Republicans do not welcome it, rather continue adoring being deceived, welcoming the lies with open arms.
And then we see now coming out that they were one of the most woke banks.
Like how Kentucky Republican James Comer blamed SVB's downfall on it, when really it was ex-Kevin McCarthy staffers. Take note of how the game is played, everybody.
That's all I'm saying. Xbox has also announced they're going woke too, because of climate change, that they're adding a new feature to their default settings. So if you own an Xbox, you can upload this new program and it will turn off after so long to save the environment.
How about Xbox? Wokeness was blamed for Microsoft attempting to conserve energy. Former pro soccer coach Paul Riley, when facing allegations of sexual misconduct, pivoted to the league being too woke. When staunch Trump supporter Brent Musburger ogled over Catherine Webb, a 50-year age gap between the two. He did not own it. Rather, like others, would use the word woke as a defense mechanism.
And Aaron Rodgers, of course, for all those reasons, but also to sort of claim that he's being canceled and this use of the word woke. I think Aaron Rodgers needs to realize that when you look in the dictionary, woke is an adjective meaning that you're alert to racial prejudice and discrimination. And it is something that originated in the African American community. And he should, using it in that way is despicable and very dismissive to the origin of the term. And he also quoted MLK.
Exactly. They can't define it because they want it to mean more than one thing to solidify power within the electorate who Donald Trump characterized as such.
I love the poorly educated.
In the words of one conservative commentator, facts don't care about your feelings. They just don't. The term has been around for more than 75 years. Resurfacing to symbolize awareness of social injustices in society. However, Republicans want to weaken its meaning and use it to claim victim status. As Metro notes, the subversion of woke is political and means the word can now be used to perpetuate the very injustices it sought to eradicate in the first place.
So before I get to some of this data here, this new data, which is very interesting, and my thoughts on this new GOP strategy. You can tell here AOC is not happy about having to be at this hearing for obvious reasons. This entire thing is ridiculous. The Republican Party right now, they are trying to use the term woke as a catch-all for any progress in society whatsoever. Whether it's people getting food to eat, whether it's wages being raised, whether it's workers being able to form a union, organize, whether it's, of course, diversity in society in various ways. Like, it's just being used as a catch-all for anything, for any progress at all. And they're hoping, the right is hoping, that it's going to be enough to fool people to vote against their own interests. When, as you see, as AOC points out here, the umbrella they use includes issues that would help their own voters. But is it going to work? Is this strategy from the right of using the term woke as this scary catch-all, is this going to work? Well, in terms of most voters, it appears, at least based on this recent data from Ipsos and USA Today, that it is not going to work. So the Hill headline here, most in new poll view woke as a positive term. The breakdown, though, is very interesting. So I will link to all this below the video in case you want to go through all the data yourself. But here is their first bit of results. Thinking about what it means to be woke, which of the following comes closest to your view, even if neither is exactly right? So a majority of voters, 56%, say woke is to be informed, educated on, and aware of social injustices. Sounds pretty good to me. The other 39% say it's to be overly politically correct and police others' words, which, by the way, both results here can be correct depending on the context. So depending on when you're using the term woke, both of these can be correct. But what you don't see here are the various government programs that are being a part of this overly wokeness federal government in this hearing that Republicans are trying to use, again, to try and stop any progress at all on any issues, including economic issues. But they are betting on their voters not realizing that and using the term woke for them. They hope it's a way to not have to explain that what Republicans are fighting against is actually going to benefit their own voters.